Two babies. Floating down a river. Alone. No mother. No father. No chance of survival. Those two babies would become the reason the most powerful empire in human history existed. And one of them would be murdered by the other. Before any of it even began. 753 BC. Central Italy. A king named Amulius had a problem. His brother Numitor was the rightful king before him, but Amulius had overthrown him. Stolen his throne, taken everything. But Numitor had a daughter named Rhea Silvia. And Amulius was terrified that one day her sons would grow up and take revenge. So he forced her to become a Vestal Virgin, a priestess forbidden from ever having children. Problem solved. Except Mars, the god of war, had other plans. According to Roman legend, Mars visited Rhea Silvia. And 9 months later she gave birth to twin boys. Amulius panicked. He ordered the babies thrown into the Tiber River to drown. His soldiers took the twins, placed them in a basket, and threw them in. This is where the story should have ended. The basket didn't sink. The river carried the twins downstream, until it came to rest at the base of a hill called Palatine Hill. And there, something impossible happened. A she-wolf found them. Not a wolf that ate them. Not a wolf that ignored them. A wolf that fed them. Nursed them. Kept them warm. As if they were her own cubs. Romans believed it completely. They built statues of the she-wolf. They displayed her image everywhere. Because Romans wanted the world to know, their city was not founded by ordinary men. Their city was founded by children of the god of war, raised by the wild, surviving the impossible. And they were just getting started. A shepherd named Faustulus found the twins. He took them home. He and his wife raised them as their own sons. They named them Romulus and Remus. And these two boys grew up to be everything their grandfather Amulius had feared. Strong. Bold. Natural leaders. They gathered followers. They built influence. They discovered the truth about who they really were, sons of the god of war, grandsons of the rightful king. And then they did what sons of the god of war do. They marched on their great-uncle Amulius. Overthrew him. Killed him. Restored their grandfather Numitor to his throne, a completely normal Tuesday in ancient Italy. But now they had a bigger question. They were young. They were powerful. They had an army of loyal followers. What do you do next when you have just overthrown a king at 20 years old? You build a city. They chose the area near where the river had saved their lives. 7 Hills. Near the Tiber River. Perfect location. But then came the question that would change history forever. Which hill should the city be on? Romulus wanted Palatine Hill. Remus wanted Aventine Hill. They decided to let the gods choose. They would each watch for a sign from the heavens, birds specifically. A practice called augury. Whoever saw the most birds would choose the hill. Remus saw his sign first. 6 birds. He was convinced he had one, but then Romulus saw his sign. 12 birds. Romulus declared victory. Remus disagreed. He claimed Romulus had cheated. That his 6 birds came first and that should count more. The argument escalated. Words became shouts. Shouts became shoving. And then Romulus began marking out the boundary of his new city with a plow, a sacred line that no one was supposed to cross. Remus crossed it. To mock his brother. To prove a point. To show he did not accept Romulus as the winner. It was the last thing Remus ever did. What happened next has been told many ways over thousands of years. Some say Romulus killed Remus himself. Some say one of Romulus's followers struck the fatal blow. But all accounts agree on what happened. Remus died. His own brother's city that had not yet been built had its first death. Before the first wall was raised, Rome's first act was murder. Romulus stood over his brother. According to legend he said, "So perish anyone else. Who shall leap over my walls?" Then he buried Remus, mourned him, briefly, and went back to building. The city was named Rome, after Romulus. Not after both of them. After the one who survived. And so Rome was built. On Palatine Hill. On the banks of the Tiber. At the exact spot where two babies had once floated to safety in a basket. Romulus became the first king. He needed citizens, so he declared Rome an asylum city accepting criminals, runaway slaves, and outcasts from other tribes. He needed women, so he invited neighboring tribes to a festival, then kidnapped their women to become Rome's wives. He ruled for 37 years. And then one day during a military assembly, a storm came. A dark cloud covered the sun. When it cleared, Romulus was gone. No explanation. Just gone. Romans declared he had been taken to the heavens to become a god, but Romulus was just the beginning. After him came 6 more kings. Each one more complicated than the last. One built Rome's first sewage system. One started its first wars. And the last one committed a crime so terrible, so unforgivable. What was that story? We will tell you, but is next a few videos. If you want to know about the history of Rome in such an interesting way, make sure to subscribe and follow us.